Welcome friends, Namaskar. Today I'm so honored to bring my practice to you. I'm gonna offer a little instruction and then we'll drop into some breath work. We'll utilize these sound instruments, and wherever you are, just give yourself permission just to offer acceptance and allowance for the person that showed up to this moment. Maybe you allow yourself just to scan the room that you're in, make any final adjustments, adjust the temperature, or maybe just to start to close your eyes, bring your awareness inward, start to feel your inhale and your exhale. Maybe it might be nice to put one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart and just slowly start to lengthen the inhale and the exhale, breathing exclusively through the nose. And feeling that breath, feeling it rise towards the back of the throat, down past the heart, into the core of the belly. Feeling the ribs expand, feeling the chest starting to rise up, even feeling the top of the throat, feeling a little bit lighter, the top of the crown of the head, a little more length. And then slowly as you exhale, really take your time here, squeeze out all that old air. If your eyes are closed, just allowing yourself just to feel the breath. Starting to check into the present moment, giving yourself permission to detach from conversations or energies that might be surrounding your mind. This next little moment of time is just for you. And we're gonna talk about the Ujjayi pranayama, also known as the victorious breath, or the ocean breath, the warrior breath. And it's so beautiful. It allows us to access that vagal tone, that quality of the throat space, and it's really simple. As you exhale with your mouth closed and through the nose, make a constriction in the back of your throat. Imagine that you were fogging up a mirror, so but everything is nice and quiet. You're going to start to hear that sound like the ocean. And even as you inhale, you can keep that constriction. If you like, you can add a little sensory by allowing the throat just to feel the fingertips, feeling that sensation, feeling that constriction here. Staying present for each inhale, each exhale. Continuing here, bringing in a little more guidance, and maybe now you start to observe the top of the breath when you pause and switch from the inhale to the exhale. Then you feel that flexion point at the bottom of the breath, and observing it, observing that shift, how each breath is different from the one before. Each breath brings in that fresh prana, that life force. Each sound, that rhythm, that vocal quality is stimulating the vagus nerve, starting to pull back on cortisol, starting to release those feel-good hormones of oxytocin and serotonin, starting to heal yourself from within. We're going to stay here for a couple more minutes, just breathing, inhale and exhale. Just allow yourself just to get drunk with the breath. listening to that rhythm, that ocean-like sound, and introducing now the opportunity in your small, still voice within to add a mantra of Om Na on the inhale. And then as you exhale, Ma Shivaya. Inhale, Om Na. Exhale, Ma Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Asking us to always remember our connection to the universe and to the divine. And at the same time, training the mind to be present, training the mind and the flutters of the mind to find a little more space. And as you're going in this journey, as you're continuing to expand your breath capacity, maybe you're observing that your mind is staying a little more present, observing when the mind starts to slip, it starts to run off towards thoughts of the future, and whenever it does, just bringing it back, using these tips and tools, feeling sensation, feeling the breath, using your voice within. Staying here for about 30 more seconds. One more. Inhale, Om Na. And as you exhale, Ma Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. We're going to stay with that Ujjayi breath, but this time we're going to accentuate the hold at the top of the breath and at the bottom of the breath. So we'll come to that Khumbaka retention. It's going to build intensity here. You're going to find that as we inhale, you'll feel that buoyancy, that lightness. We'll pause there and float, and you're going to find a completely different shift as we exhale. So we're going to do each style 4 or 5 times, so I'll guide you. So just allow yourself. I'm going to use my fingertips to count, so guiding the thumb to the index finger as you take a big breath in with that Ujjayi breath. And then pause here, observing that space, feeling that lightness and lift. And then as you exhale, that constriction to the back of the throat. The bottom of the breath, switching immediately to the next inhale. Big breath in. Pausing here at the top. Maybe your gaze is towards that eyebrow center area. Maybe you're observing that sense of expansion and spaciousness between the ribs and the body, that upward current, that lift, and as you exhale, that grounding current coming to the fresh inhale. Getting bigger and bigger breaths, pausing and floating, building that breath capacity, softening the shoulders, allowing the crown of the head to be nice and upright. Slowly exhale. Switch to the inhale. Pause at the top. Very present in that moment, that Khumbaka retention that pauses that karmic cycle, allows you to be fully present and aware. And slowly as you exhale, let's do one cleansing breath. So big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Squeezing out all that old air at the bottom of the breath. Now we're going to retain that exhale all the way out. Maybe put your hand on your tummy, holding that breath out. When you absolutely have to take a breath, inhaling through the nose, that Ujjayi. And then switch to the exhale. Getting rid of all that old breath. Squeeze out the belly. When you feel empty, pausing at the bottom. Maybe you notice here that the thoughts shift. They're a little more anxious. They want that fresh breath. It's harder at the bottom of the breath. You want that fresh inhale. Whenever you're ready, inhale through the nose. And then switch to the exhale at the top of the breath, Ujjayi. Getting rid of all that old breath. Pause at the bottom. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Squeezing out all that old breath. At the bottom of the breath, we retain. And what you're observing is that fresh breath flows to that spot of low pressure, and the universe is literally waiting to give you that next inhale, that fresh prana. So all you have to do is squeeze out that old breath, and then when you're ready, big breath in. Naturally, easily filling up, and then exhaling. This is going to be our last time holding out that breath, maybe a good 15 seconds. Just pause. Whenever you're ready, inhale through the nose. Open mouth, swaha, release. Just allow yourself to release any breath control. Just allow yourself to be nice and soft. Maybe the tops of the hands come facing down on top of the knees. Allowing yourself just to drop into a moment to meditate, just lingering here. If the tongue is at the roof of the mouth, allow it just to be nice and soft, just to be supple in the back of the bottom of the palate. And maybe observe a shift. Maybe you feel a little more spacious on the inside, a little like a level of energetic dirt has been removed. Maybe your shoulders are a little bit softer, the temples. Maybe you feel an invigorating pulse of your heartbeat. Staying here with your breath, with your eyes closed, start to go into a little bit of some sound. Observing that calm breath, that balanced inhale, balanced exhale. Starting to feel that even pace, that tranquility between the fresh breath that comes in and the surrendering as you exhale. present moment. Go through a little body scan now, just allowing yourself to bring your awareness, as the parts of the body are called, just feeling those areas, starting at the crown of the head, moving towards the eyebrows, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the right earlobe, right ear canal, moving over to the left earlobe, the left ear canal, the lips, the upper row of teeth and the lower row of teeth, the tongue, the palate, the back of the throat, moving down the esophagus, down to the chest space, the collarbone, moving your awareness now over towards the left shoulder, moving down the left upper arm, down to the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the left palm of the hand, the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Coming back to the palm of the hand, the wrist, the forearm, the elbow, the bicep, the tricep, the underarm. Over now to the right shoulder blade, the upper arm down to the elbow, the right forearm, the wrist, the palm of the hand, the right thumb. Feel the base of the thumb, the bone, the knuckle, the nail, even the cuticle. Feel the fullness of the right hand thumb. Coming over to the right index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Coming back to the palm of the hand, to the forearm, to the elbow, elbow to the bicep, the tricep, the back of the shoulder, coming now towards the heart space, moving down the chest, feeling the ribs, the space between the ribs, feeling the obliques, the solar plexus, the torso, the digestive organs, coming now towards the right hip, feeling the hip socket, feeling the weightiness of that right thigh, feeling the top of the thigh, the bottom of the thigh, moving to the right knee, knee to the shin, down towards the ankle, top of the foot, the sole of the foot, the big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth toe, coming up to the heel, the back side of the ankle, the back of the calf muscle, the back of the right knee, coming up the back side of the thigh to the glutes. Now shifting your awareness over towards the left hip socket, feeling the fullness, the weightiness of the hip, the spaciousness, the thigh, the femur bone, the moving down the thigh all the way slowly towards the left knee, the left shin, the left ankle, the top of the foot, the sole of the foot, the big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth toe. Coming now to the back side of the heel, back of the calf muscle, back of the knee, the back side of the thigh, the glute. Bring your awareness now to the base of the spine, the tailbone, that root area known as the Muladhara Chakra, associated with the earth element, also the color red. Maybe you visualize that earth tone red, a dark clay-like color, just visualizing that surrounding you. Muladhara, Muladhara, Muladhara. Moving now a little higher to the sacral area, Svadhisthana chakra, associated with the water element, and the color orange. So now shifting that visualization and just imagining a bright orange, tangerine, and vibrant, fresh, alive, that color just radiating, permeating all over you. Svadhisthana, Svadhisthana, Svadhisthana. Moving a little higher now towards the navel center and the low back, and finding Manipura, the element of fire. And think of a bright color yellow, bright like the sun. Just imagine that radiant light shining all over you, filling up every dark area with heat, with a purity of fire. Manipura, Manipura, Manipura. Moving up now towards the heart space, Anahata chakra, associated with the air element. And think of the color green, a beautiful emerald green, or a color that reminds you of spring, that signifies curiosity and creativity and something new. Anahata, Anahata, Anahata. Moving now towards the throat space, the Vishuddha chakra, and feel yourself surrounded by a dark indigo blue and the element of sound and space. Observing that frequency, that healing sound, a vibration that's moving through you. Vishuddhi, Vishuddhi, Vishuddhi. Moving up a little higher now towards the eyebrow center, the back of the brain, the back of the forehead, the ears, the temples, Ajna chakra. And feel a purple and violet light surrounding you, associated with the element of thought. Ajna, Ajna, Ajna. Moving now towards the crown of the head, slightly above your being, and find the Sahasrara chakra, associated with the element of light, and a golden and white light. Just feel that glorious samadhi and nirvana component, that pops of white and golden light just surrounding you, just feeling the warmth, feeling the glow, allowing it just to cascade in every direction down to the darkest parts of you, that shadow spots, just feeling that healing glow, renewing you, and at the same time connecting you to all other beings, where we find ourselves part of something much bigger than ourselves. Sahasrara, Sahasrara, Sahasrara. For slowly grounding back into your human form, taking your time. And while you linger here one more moment, maybe you scan the body and just observe if there's been a shift from the version of you that showed up to practice, and maybe there's a little more spaciousness in your thoughts. Maybe you feel a little more grounded, a little more calm. Maybe the pace of the thoughts are a little bit slower. And just observe that you created this space with your breath and with your intention, and it's always available for you. Thank you so much for going on this breath journey from my heart to yours. May we always remember our connection to the universe and the divine. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaste.